I got a DM here the other day from a woman who's a single mommy asking for some feedback on some life choices that she's made. I'm sharing this DM with you, and I'm going to keep the writer anonymous because there's some lessons in here about female nature and the way they view the sexual marketplace, specifically when it comes to the sorts of stuff that I talk about. So I'm going to read this first, and then I'm going to hop on the highway here to kind of comment on some ideas. But she says, hey, longtime follower here. I started following after I cheated on a guy I really liked and lost him. First thought there alone is women don't cheat on guys that they see are their best possible option. This is a little bit of, how can we put this? Caffeinating the hamster in her head to try to justify the mental gymnastics. I'll carry on and comment on more. She says, you helped me recognize my actual worth as a single mom, making $50K a year with stretch marks and just okay boobs, were the exact words she used. Not the inflated worth I gave myself due to the current feminist social influences our world feeds us. Right off the bat, you think to yourself, oh, wow, this is a chick that actually gets it. Well, let's find out. Simply put, your page and YouTube help me want to be better by recognizing how crappy my gender can be. I'm reaching out because I'm dating again for the first time since the situation above. The guy is super nice, caring, loving, and the sex is amazing. The problem is that he is no good with money and requires me to hold his hand. She goes on to say, I'm committed to him. I have absolutely no interest in cheating on him. I never want to put anyone through that again. He is who I want to spend my life with, and for as long as he will accept me in it. She goes on after getting the autoresponder from this DM, which basically says, look, if you got a question, book me for coaching. She says, I'm not a male and I don't need any one-on-one coaching. Sweetheart, you need to talk. So I'll take my chances, she says. She goes on to close by going to, how can I motivate my boyfriend to be more dominant, alpha, and to navigate life with confidence? I almost want to introduce him to your page and to the Red Pill Society, but I'm afraid he will become interested in other women once he recognizes how amazing he is, aka he realizes his self-worth. He's really great in every other area. I'd appreciate any other advice. So she wants my advice on her life choices here when it comes to this guy that she's currently dating, and we have some frame around how she's behaved in her past relationship. It's funny, from my perspective as a guy reading these, and I don't get that much in the way of communication from women. I get the odd sponsored video, sometimes an email, usually lecturing me about why I'm such an awful person and asking me who I was hurt by. But the reality is, this is a prime example of the level of ignorance and solipsism that women generally have when it comes to their worth in the sexual marketplace, and really just had to navigate it in a productive way. She admits herself that she had a over-entitled sense of self-worth, an overinflated ego, if you will, which is why she cheated on the perfect guy. And again, like I mentioned when I was reading that, women don't cheat on men that they see are their best possible option. If a woman wakes up in the morning and she looks at you as her best possible option, or her hypergamy is satisfied, because that's all that it really is asking her daily is this guy the best that I can do? So in cases like that where it is, and she's happy with the guy that she's with, other men are, for the most part, pretty much invisible to them. Like, unless she's walking through the mall and there's some half-naked firefighters selling firefighter calendars in their boots and their overalls shirtless, pretty much all guys are completely invisible to women like that. So some of the mental gymnastics that I'll see them kind of like run their heads through, they kind of do my head in, because it's like, are you even reading this before you're sending it to me? It's like, you try to justify your cheating, you say he's a great guy and you really liked him and you lost him, but the truth of the matter is women don't cheat on guys that they value. They only cheat on guys when they think they can do better, and the reason why they cheat is different than the reasons why men cheat. Men can go and have a threesome with a bunch of women and come home and still love their wives and their children. Women, on the other hand, when they cheat, it usually means it's because they're done and they want out. It's not because they want to change anything or because they want some strange. It's really just because they want to get out of it. They've usually already made up their mind. They already have a plan to monkey branch onto somebody else, and that's just typically what they end up doing. So that just deals with the first part of what's going on in that messaging, and just highlighting some of the ignorance and some of the solipsism that comes with, female nature. I'm not saying that to disparage women or anything like that. It's just, hey, that's just the reality of the sexual marketplace and attraction, arousal, and desire in women and all that sort of stuff. The second part of it is I want to deal with the current guy that she's dating with, because in this case, she's basically trying to build a better beta. We already know by reading it that she likes him and she feels like she's got pretty much every box ticked off the way that she described it anyway. But here she is sliding into my DMs, another man, asking me for advice, a complete stranger. I can tell you that underlying the notion of what it is that she's saying, there's always a story behind the story. You guys know what I'm talking about. You can comment below. But she's sliding into my DMs asking me for feedback. How do I get this guy more alpha? But at the same time, she doesn't want him to become so much better and so much more aware of his worth that he leaves her. In fact, she actually fears that if he recognizes his worth on the sexual marketplace as a guy, he's probably going to bounce on her. So the conundrum that she then says is, how do I build a better beta? How do I make this guy more alpha, but not so much of a better beta, not so much of an alpha that he's going to want to pick up and leave me for somebody else? Because she knows how the sexual marketplace works. People aren't particularly monogamous. We're not very good at being loyal to one another, as she's experienced herself. She's already a single mom, which tells me she couldn't stay with the father of her child for whatever reason. There's no disclosure there, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out. She bounced on him. She cheated on the next guy. She's talking about this guy, but he's got flaws, See, we've often said in many of the discussions that we've had here, whether it's myself or I'm collabing with some other men in the community, but women have a long list of requirements that they need guys to fill and tick off. Got to be funny, got to be laughable, got to love my kid, got to be alpha, got to be beta, got to be a handyman, got to be loving, got to be a plumber, got to be a blah, 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 blah. And it's like, they have this list of like 250 different requirements. And if you're missing a few of them, she's going out there going, I'm watching this guy Rich's video. He seems to get it. How do I get my boyfriend to get it? Because at the end of the day, all that women really want is they just want guys to get it.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.